So how do you become a nurse, a midwife, or an enrolled nurse in Australia? For the past month, I've had a lot of DMs in regards to people that are nurses, midwives, and enrolled nurse in their respective home countries, and they are thinking of migrating to Australia to come and practice. Let's just face the facts, guys. Working as a nurse, midwife, or enrolled nurse in Australia can be really rewarding. Most nurses in Australia earn anywhere in between 80,000 to 150,000 Australian dollars per year. So the nursing occupation can be really lucrative in Australia. And of course, nurses, midwives, and enrolled nurses are in high demand in Australia. These occupations have been on the skills occupation list for a very long time. Hence, that's why most qualified overseas nurses and midwives target to migrate to Australia. The process can be a bit difficult, yes, especially if you are coming from countries like Ghana, Nigeria, like any of the African countries, okay? Coming to practice nursing in Australia can be really difficult. I know most people go to New Zealand, and once they are registered nurse in New Zealand, they transfer to come and work as a nurse in Australia. So that's another pathway you guys can look at. Most people also go to the UK, Canada, and US. So in case you're watching me and you are a registered nurse in New Zealand, UK, Canada, US, and you're thinking of migrating to Australia and you need assistance, just let me know. Okay, I'm going to leave my email in the description section below. Let me know and I'll assist you with the process. Before we do a deep dive into this tutorial, please know that I'm not a registered migration agent, so please use any advice in this video as general advice only. Without talking too much, I'm going to switch on my other camera so we do this deep dive. See you on the other side. Okay guys, so how do you migrate to Australia as a nurse or midwife? Let's go. In today's video, I've broken this down into 4 parts. Okay, so the part number 1 will look at the pathways to Australia. So the sort of pathways you can use to migrate to Australia as a nurse. Then we'll look at the APRA process. I think with this process, I need to go a bit into details for those that wants to use the APRA OBA process. So after you've gained your registration as a nurse in Australia, how you can live and work in Australia. And then last but not the least, we'll look at the next step. So regardless of the sort of stage you are in, I'll basically give you an idea in regards to the next step to take. Okay, so you can make your dream in regards to working in Australia as a nurse or midwife a reality. So before we get into it, let's look at some terminologies. So you hear me saying APRA. So APRA basically stands for Australian Health Practitioner Regulation Agency. So to become a registered nurse or midwife in Australia, you need to get your license, okay, from APRA. We have NMBA. NMBA stands for Nursing and Midwifery Board of Australia. So with this body, they basically do the compliance and they set the rules and regulations. So what is the difference between these two? So APRA basically, they do all the regulations and also the licensing for the Nursing and Midwife Board of Australia. So they work hand in hand. You also hear me saying OBA. So OBA basically stands for Outcome Based Assessment. So this is basically the assessment to go through with APRA to become a registered nurse in Australia using your overseas qualification. You also hear me saying IQNMS, so International Qualified Nurses and Midwives. We have the NCLEX, so those that are nurses, you know what the NCLEX exam is. We have the OSCE, okay, so Objective Structured Clinical Examination. Before you can become a registered nurse or midwife here, you need to make sure you pass both the NCLEX and the OSCE exam. The OSCE exam is currently done here in Australia. So you hear me saying RN. RN means registered nurse. EN means enrolled nurse. So when we say enrolled nurse, it's basically those that have their diploma in nursing, and registered nurse is those that have got their, their degree in nursing. Yeah. You also hear me saying midwife. So midwife basically means those that have got their degree as a midwife. We also have the AQF. So AQF basically means Australian Qualification Framework. So if you have your diploma, your bachelor's, your master's, your PhD, Australia basically got AQF number. So AQF number 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and it goes like that. So these are a few terminologies for your reference. Pathways to Australia. So let's say you are a registered nurse, enrolled nurse, or midwife in your home country. What sort of pathways can you use to migrate to Australia? Or what sort of pathways can you use to become a registered nurse or midwife in Australia? So the first one is you coming here as an international student. Okay, so let's say you finish your high school, you want to come and be a registered nurse in Australia. Then this basically means you can come and do your bachelor's degree or your master's degree here in Australia. Most bachelor's nursing degree will go for 3 years. You'll be looking around 32,000 Australian dollars per year to study nursing in Australia. Yes, it's not cheap. Okay, so this is how much you'll be looking at if you want to migrate to Australia as an international student. You'll be coming via the student visa subclass 500, and one of the main requirements is making sure you get band 7 in all the components when it comes to IELTS. So if you are using your IELTS, you need band 7 in all the components, and if you are using PTE, you need at least 65 in all the components. Once you finish your nursing degree here, okay, with an accredited university or college here in Australia, within a few weeks you become a registered nurse, and of course you start practicing as a nurse in Australia. We also have the conversion pathway. So again, the conversion pathway is like the student visa. Okay, only selected universities here in Australia does the conversion. So the conversion basically means you are converting your overseas qualification into an accredited qualification here in Australia, and this basically also goes for 1 year. You need to undergo like a 1 year full-time studies here in Australia to convert your overseas qualification to an Australian accredited qualification. Again, you'll be looking at a minimum of around 32,000 Australian dollars to do your conversion with an accredited university. Not all the unis in Australia do the conversion, only selected universities. So getting an enrollment can be really tough. Okay, and most times the enrollment is just one per year. So if you miss the enrollment for 2024, you need to target the enrollment for 2025. Again, student visa 500 subclass 500 is what you need to apply. Okay, you also need IELTS of band 7 in all the components, and once you finish your conversion, you become a registered nurse in Australia within few weeks. So last but not the least is the IQ NMS. You need to make sure you get your registration from APRA. So this process can be somewhat complex, especially if you live in most of these third world countries. The process can be so you do your self-check to make sure that you fit in or you meet the eligibility criteria. You register with APRA, you upload your documents, you do your NCLEX exams, and once you pass the NCLEX exams, you book for your OSCE exams in Australia, and when you pass, then you go through the registration process to be a registered nurse in Australia. Now, in case you want to come and study or do your conversion here in Australia, just let me know. I can assist you with the admission and also your visa application. I'm going to leave my email in the description section below. And I'm going to focus more time in regards to how to go through the APRA OBA process. So how do we go through this process? So for the APRA OBA process, this is the steps involved. So again, you need to do your self-check. I'm going to leave an important links in the description section below. Let me quickly share those with you guys now. Yeah, so there's this important link, okay, from the Nursing and Midwife Board of Australia. Okay, so internationally qualified nurses and midwives. So before you apply, you can find more information here. Self-check and portfolio, you can find the information here. Examination, okay, so when it comes to the NCLEX and OSCE exams, you can find a lot of information here. And registration, you can find more information here. So I'm going to leave this link in the description section below. Trust me, this link will help you a lot. Okay, and when you come here, accreditation, okay, so approved programs of study in case you want to study. Okay, assessments for overseas qualified nurses and midwives, internationally qualified nurses and midwives. You got all the links here. So I'm going to leave this important link in the description section below. In case you want to read further, go on this link and read further. All right, so what is the APRA process? So one, you have to do your self-check and eligibility. Okay, I'll take you through this at the end of the video, how to check your eligibility. So once you check your eligibility and you get the green light, okay, then you need to register with APRA. So the registration is 640 Australian dollars. Okay, so once you register, you get onto their platform and you go through the IQNM's registration and assessment. So the first one is orientation part 1. It's all about Australia, or basically go through all these modules, and when you complete that, you go to the portfolio. So this is where you upload all your qualification and also your work experience. They have a criteria in regards to how to arrange all these documents and also the sort of documents you need to upload. So once you upload this and you get the green light, then you go on to your MCQ exams, which is the NCLEX. Okay, so the NCLEX is an online exams. You need to pay 350 Australian dollars to take these exams. Once you pass these exams, then you go to the OSCE exam. This is the most important and also one of the crucial parts of the process. So the OSCE exams is 4,000 Australian dollars to register. Once you register, you get an online booking. You need to select a date. Okay, so once you select the date, then you move on to booking your tourist visa, your visa surplus 600 application properly. I know most people that have got to this stage, they've paid the 4,000 but they still get visa refusal. So make sure you do your tourist visa application properly. So once you pay the 4,000, for the LSKI exams, you need to travel to Australia to undertake these exams, and this exam is currently held in Adelaide, South Australia. I think they also have one assessment center here in Melbourne. Yeah, I need to do more research in regards to that and bring that information to you, but for now I know this OSCE exam is conducted in Adelaide, South Australia. So again, you pay 4,000, you apply for your tourist visa, which is going to cost you 190 Australian dollars plus some cents for the if you are using your Visa or MasterCard surcharge. If you are coming from West Africa, you need to of course buy your air ticket, plane ticket. One way is going to cost you around 3,000 Australian dollars, and also other expenses like your accommodation and the rest. Once you pass your OSCE exams, then congratulations, you can now move on to the registration. So the application to become a registered nurse or midwife in Australia is going to set you back 300 Australian dollars. Okay, so once you submit your application and you get the green light, then your registration is also going to set you back 175 Australian dollars. Then yay, you are a registered nurse in Australia. So once you become a registered nurse or midwife in Australia, what is the next step? The next step is to apply for your visa to live and work in Australia. Okay, so what sort of visas can you guys go through? I'm recording this video in June. Okay, so we are getting to the new financial year, which is going to be the 1st of July onwards. I know most of the visas are going to be restructured, or most things are changing. Once there's an update when it comes to the Australian Home Affairs or immigration, I'm going to record a video and bring you guys the updated version of this video. But as I'm recording this video, this is still in place. You can go through the skilled migration route, which is the point testing route. Okay, so you have the visa surplus 189 skilled independent. So with this visa, you can basically apply, express your interest, and once you get nominated and you get a visa approval, you'll be able to work anywhere in Australia. We have the visa surplus 190. So this is you basically targeting a state in Australia to come and work as a nurse or midwife. And we also have the visa surplus 491. This is for people that wants to target the regional areas. If you want to target the regional areas, so you can express your interest, okay, to those sort of areas. And once you get a nomination, you pack up your bags and go to that certain regional area and work as a registered nurse or midwife. If you need help with this process, of course, I can assist you. Also, we have the employer sponsored. So the employer sponsored is also something you guys can look at. Okay, so with the employer sponsored, once you become a registered nurse, you basically look for an employer to sponsor you. So you basically go and apply and look for an employer to sponsor you. You can apply through the visa surplus 482, the skill shortage route. Okay, you can also target the employer regional or the employer nomination. All right, so these are the sort of pathways you can use to come and work and live in Australia. In regards to the pathway, of course I can also assist you. So what is the next step? So if you are watching me now and kind of confused and you don't know what to do in regards to you coming to Australia, what is the next step? So let's say you've finished your nursing qualification in your home country, you've got a bit of work experience, but you're sort of confused either to use the student pathway or the APRA OBA pathway. Okay, so what do you do? What I mostly tell people is to easily go on the self-check portal, okay, and do the self-check. So if you get a green light, then of course you can use the APRA OBA process. So how do you determine which is which, or how do you make a decision? Let me quickly help you. When you come on the website I showed you guys, okay, just come here where it says self-check and portfolio, complete the self-check. Okay, you click on here, you go all the way to the bottom here where it says ready to complete the self-check. Go to expand and click on commence self-check. Yeah, so go through this about the self-check. Just quickly read through this. I'll go next. Privacy, go next. Disclaimer, make sure you read everything, then you go next. Okay, profession and division. So what sort of qualification do you have? Are you an enrolled nurse, a registered nurse, or midwife? So let's say if you're a registered nurse, you click on registered nurse, then you go next. And registration, do you hold a current registration as a registered nurse in New Zealand? No, we go next. Have you previously held general registration as a registered nurse in Australia? We'll say no, we go next. Referral letter, most time is going to be no. Okay, we go next. Okay, so primary qualification. So enter where your qualification was obtained. I'm from Ghana, so of course I'm going to use Ghana. Okay, so I select Ghana. Enter name of institution. So basically if you go uni, yeah, all the universities are going to be uploaded here. So let's say Garden City University College. We select this. So enter title of the qualification. Okay, so what I normally do is I just type nurse. Yeah, then Bachelor of Science in Nursing is going to come. You select that one. Then the step 4, which year did you complete? So let's say we completed I'll just say 2021. Okay, then I'll go check my qualification. Yep, then once we get your qualification has been checked, do you have any other qualification relevant to your profession as a registered nurse? If you have more qualification, let's say you were first like a diploma nurse before you became a registered nurse, you can go ahead and enter all these. Okay, I'll just say no. We go next. Then it's going to be a summary here. Quickly read through, and if everything is okay, you go next. Then bang. So based on the qualification information entered, it is advised that you upgrade your qualification if you wish to register as a registered nurse in Australia. Okay, so this basically tells you that you do not qualify to go through the APRA process, if that makes sense. So when you get this, then of course if you are thinking of upgrading, you can basically apply to come and study, let's say Masters of Nursing here in Australia, and after you finish your studies you can straight away become a registered nurse. So this is what I tell people. Okay, so we can go close. So I'll come back here again, and I'll go through commence self-check. So we'll go through the exact same process again. Again, registered nurse, we go next. No. I'll go Ghana again. I'll type in uni. All the uni is going to like be listed here. Let's say University of Ghana. Okay, then again I go nurse, Bachelor of Science in Nursing. Okay, which year did you complete? Let's say 2016. Check my qualification. Yep, it says all check. Yep. Do you have any other qualification? Let's just say no for now. We go next. We check through the summary. Yep, University of Ghana, Bachelor of Science in Nursing 2016. Next. Yep, so when you go to the next step, when it says you are now ready to proceed to the assessment stage, okay, this means you can go through APRA, okay, to become a registered nurse. So you can go proceed, and this will take you through the login and registration. Okay, so you basically register for an account here, okay, and go through the APRA process. Okay, so this is very important, guys. So in case you are thinking of coming here as a student, okay, I can help you guys. Just send me an email. In case you also want to come through the APRA process, okay, to come and do the OB assessment and everything, I can also help you guys out. So there is this agency, okay, I'm only sharing this with you guys. There's this agency here in Australia that will help you guys through the APRA OBA process too. Yeah, so they have like online modules that will help you through the NCLEX exam and also the OSCE exams. Yeah, they'll also help you through all the process, from the self-check to you getting your registered license to practice in Australia. And one good thing is, once you pass, let's say you get to the OSCE, you book your OSCE exams and you travel to Australia and you pass your OSCE exams, okay, they'll help you find an employer to sponsor you. Yeah, so most times people get stuck at this stage. Once they've gone through the whole process, when they get to the OSCE, they pass the OSCE, looking for an employer can be somewhat difficult. So this agency will help you find, okay, an employer that will sponsor you. So once you come on a tourist visa, most times you don't even have to go back, because you look for an employer to sponsor you and they'll help you with the visa application. Let's say if it's visa sub class 482, they are going to help you with the application. When it's also time for you to come and do your OSCE exams here, of course they're going to help you with your tourist visa application. So in case you are also looking at coming here to do your OBA, once you go through the self-check and you know that you can proceed, you can shoot me an email, okay, and I'm going to give you more details in regards to how this agency can help you, can make your you come in to practice your nursing in Australia a reality. My name is Kwame Chumis. If you find this tutorial useful, please show some love and click on that subscribe button, ring that notification bell so you do not miss out when I release another useful video. I'll see you guys in my other video. Bye bye.